Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? A little bit later today, but still the same efficient analysis as you're used to getting. All right, as always, we first look at gold, then we'll get to football. Gold, 25.16, making its move back up. Let's get to 26. Tomorrow's Friday. I think we can get close. Silver, 881. It's fine. We know it's going to 1,000. So the more you can get at this price, the better it is. As long as we understand what's going on, which we do. Hey, Greg and John. So I've been studying my football. So I'm a little late because of that. Went to the pool, and I really think well in the pool. Water makes you think better. So I got 4 locks going this way. Two teaser lock, but 14 locks. Let's go through the NFL first, since we have a ball game tonight. Okay, great news. Jamar Chase is practicing and ready to go. I'm a happy boy. See, I knew Burrow would, when you're playing with Burrow, you only have a small window of playing with them and everything else. So he is ready to go. So let's go through the line. Now, we know week one's a little bit tricky because of the layoffs. Hey, Pat. Yeah, we'll do a small econ class, or we can do it in this class, but this will be pro and college first. And then we can either do econ, or I can do a new video on econ. So, yeah. If you got questions, you feel free to ask them now. TK, I got my picks in, sir, for today and tomorrow. Well, I thought you didn't have any money, Greg and John. Don't vampire me, Greg and John. Don't say, I don't have any money. What the hell are you betting then? So, yeah, we'll do econ, Pat. Like I just said, gold 25.16, so that's good shape. I see Ford Motors in big trouble because they can't sell any electric cars. I'm so shocked. They're probably the worst company I've ever seen. And I worked there like 2 or 3 years, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. But because my name wasn't Ford, I couldn't do anything there. All right, here we go. Week 1, NFL. We got Kansas City 2.5 or 3, 46.5, 47. We'll go with 2.5, and I'm going with 46.5. Now, all we have is last year. Now, KC pretty much has the same team with Spagnuolo, the same defensive coordinator. Baltimore's got Harbaugh. I don't know if they changed defensive coordinators. Lamar against Mahomes. We all know who's the better quarterback. Both had 17 defenses last year. I don't expect a lot to change there. I don't expect Lamar to all of a sudden know how to throw a football to the guy on his team. I'm not expecting miracles here. Pat, 7 times more in tons than previous months. What's that, Pat? 7 times more in tons than previous months. What is that? What does that mean? There's more gold bought? Probably, I assume. I mean, that doesn't surprise me because I think countries are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And here comes BRICS, the end of October. And look out. All right. So I got a big pick on tonight's game. A very clever pick. You'll like it. We can either do a class or we can just buy the picks, buy the pro picks, $75. I got a ton of them this year. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 11 picks and 2 locks. So it's a very good week, I believe, for the pros. And to tell you the truth, I could play the other 3. So this is one of these weeks that you've got either the over-unders coming through or the teams. Very, very good. I've given you a free pick in college, Northern Illinois plus 34 against Notre Dame. I can give you a free pro pick because I'm so excited. I'll give you Cincinnati minus 1.5 over New England. I'll give you that one free. That, I mean, when I saw, I thought Chase was going to play because Burrow's going to talk him into it. But when I see Chase, like, I'm practicing, I'm playing, that's going to lift that team way up. The feel I got on that was huge. So the team's going to be very, it's like, yeah, we got Chase back. We've got Burrow back. They're going to kill New England. New England's got nothing. What do they got? A new coach, doesn't know what he's doing. Defense doesn't know what they're doing. Quarterback, Brissett sucks. May sucks, and you let Zappy go. So whoever's running this team has their heads way up their ass. Even the draft Drake May. They got no answer for Burrow since he's got a pretty good defense, I think. Everybody wants to play with Burrow because they want him to win the Super Bowl, and he's pissed because he had got injured. So he's healthy. He's at 100%. You got Chase back, the emotion, and that fucking locker room is going to be through the roof. So Cincinnati minus the 1.5, maybe 2. And I'm giving you Northern Illinois getting 34, a team that put up 700 yards last week against, a decent team. All right. Read the previous lines I wrote. I am, Pat. You say 7 times more in tons than previous months. Hello. Is econ coming after class? 7 times more in tons than previous months. Big announcement. Hey, Greg and John, unless I don't read all of them, I still don't understand 7 times more in tons than previous month. I assume that's bought. So that's my guess. Cincy and the under teaser. What under teaser? What are you talking about, Greg or John? I didn't give an under teaser. I gave you Cincinnati. So what are you, again, you're talking riddles. What under and what? Seven times more in tons than previous months for gold. That was bought in gold. Are these central banks? Fill in the blanks for me, Pat. So this is central banks buying more gold, Singapore buying more gold overall. And of course, you don't see it reflecting the price because it's derivative city. So it's about to blow up because they have to pay it off. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Well, we're not the only ones that see October coming. All right. So KC Baltimore, good game this week. Week 1, we'll get it going. Lamar against Mahomes. All right. Green Bay keep Philadelphia tomorrow in Brazil. Philly 249. All right. Last year, Green Bay had a 21 defense, Philly 25. Love against Hurts. I'm going to say Love's better than Hurts. Hurts, I don't see it. Green Bay was a good road dog, 8-0 last year, and Philly play against was 7-1 last year. Hurts, and then Pickett's the backup. Pratt from Tulane's the backup for Love. He's probably better. So we'll see what happens. This is really weird, Brazil on a Friday night, but since it's week 1, that should be okay. Do you think Cincy will go over? I don't care. I didn't comment on that. I gave you Cincinnati to win the game. That's it, Dragon John. Stop with the questions. I gave you one free pick. That's it. Russia is buying 7 times more in tons in gold. Well, that would help if you gave me the full thing. All you said was 7 times more in tons than previous months. So yeah, Russia, that doesn't surprise me. Well, they got the war and they got a print and all that. So yeah, that's good. Good news. All right. So Green Bay, Philly. Green Bay was really playing well last year. At the end, Philly fell apart. Now they got McCall, the offensive coordinator from Boise, a lefty. Well, I can't think of his name right now. We'll see how he does. He didn't do anything in San Diego. And then Philly, the defense, I'm not impressed with the defensive coordinator. So I don't know if Philly, what they're doing. They got talent, but we'll see how they look. I still kind of question. My line's Green Bay -3. I kind of question this line. Tennessee and the Bears. The Bears 3.5, 44.5. Will Levis against Caleb. Both are 22 defenses last year, but obviously with Caleb, who knows? What can I say? I'm not sold on Caleb at all. I think he'll struggle. I thought a couple interceptions, but Tennessee, we'll have to see what kind of defense they come up with. Very hard game. Tennessee with a new coach. Caleb for Chicago. So 2 different teams, 2 new teams. We'll see what we get here. Houston 348.5 to Indy. I assume it's Stroud and Richardson. We'll check injuries later. Indy with the 24 defense, Houston with the 21. Keenum's the backup for Stroud. Bean should be the backup for Richardson. I think those 2 should be starting, Keenum and Bean, not Stroud and Richardson. I don't get Stroud. He'll be back to Ohio State playing this year. Richardson, we have no idea. He gets hurt. He's too stupid to slide. I don't know. He can't throw a ball. I don't know. It's a very hard game. This is very inconsistent. Okay, Buffalo 6.5, 47. 6.5, 47 to Arizona. We got Arizona with a 27 defense last year. Buffalo 18. Kyler Murray against Josh Allen. Should be an interesting game. Let's see how good both of them are. Here's the game I'm giving you: Cincinnati 8-41. Again, now you've got Jamar Chase playing, so that's driving the line. It went from 8.5, 9.5 down to 7.5 because Chase wasn't playing. Now he's playing. Why should it go back up to 9? 23 defense, Cincy. New England with the 22. Brissett against Burrow. It's not even close. Belichick's gone. Yeah, New England probably won't win a game this year. I think they could be worse than Carolina, but it's going to be close. How do you get a coach that's never coached before? Put him in the NFL. Really? Okay. Atlanta, 3.5, 42. Russell Wilson against Kirk Cousins, I guess. Pitt always has a good defense, 19 defense. Atlanta with the 22. I don't see it getting any better, probably worse with Cousins. A lot of turnovers. Surprised they're favored in the game. New Orleans, 41.5 to Carolina. Young against Carr. Play against Carolina last year, 17-0. Enough said. Carolina with the 25 defense. New Orleans with the 19. Kamara, Olave, and the new guy, Fairchild from Kansas, a very good tight end. Carr, another year in the system. The coach maybe knows what he's doing finally. Carolina's just so bad. Miami, 3.5, 49 to Jacksonville. Jacksonville with the 22 defense. Miami at 23 last year. Lawrence against Tag. What can I say? They're both pretty weak quarterbacks. Minnesota and the Giants, the high school game of the week. Minnesota 1.5, 41. We got Darnold against Daniel Jones. Oh, my God. This is the NFL or college? Minnesota 21, defense, the Giants 24. I mean, this is a joke, absolute joke. Denver, Seattle. We got Seattle 6, 41.5 to Denver. Bo Nix against Geno Smith. Both teams with the 24 defense. Seattle, terrible home favorite. That was under Coach Pete. Hard to believe Coach Pete's gone for this bum. I don't know. Seattle might get a little stronger offensively and a lot weaker defensively is my guess. Oakland, San Diego, the AFC West battle. We got San Diego 3, 4.5. 40.5, sorry. We've got a 20 defense for Oklahoma. That'll be Oklahoma for Oakland and San Diego the 23. But now we got Harbaugh. You traded away all the receivers, so he's got no receivers and Herbert. So you finally have a good quarterback. You don't have receivers for him. And Kelly, the running back from UCLA, and Minshew against Herbert. I don't know what to say. This should be, interesting game in San Diego. Let's see Brock Bowers. I'm curious to see him. Cleveland 2.5, 41. Dallas with the 19 defense. Cleveland at 21. We got Prescott, I guess, against Thompson Robinson. I doubt Deshaun Watson's going to play again. We will see Dallas 19 defense, Cleveland 20. So it's going to be Dak Prescott. It's going to be Micah Parsons against Myles Garrett, basically, this game. Tampa Bay, 3.5, 42.5 to Washington. Daniels against the Baker. Washington's problem, 31 defense. Tampa 19. Defense always wins. Be an interesting game. Let's see how Daniels does. Probably do a lot of running. Good passer. Baker, we'll see. The Detroit, 3.5, 52 to the Lions. LA had a 22 defense. Detroit with a 30. Once you took away the first couple games against Carolina and Atlanta, the really weak defenses. Stafford against Goff. Stafford's much better. So again, I think in this game, Puka and Cooper Kupp could each both get 200 yards receiving. I mean, this is going to be just a joke. Frisco, 4.5, 44. to the JETSs. Rodgers against Purdy. Jets with the 21. Frisco with an 18. I think the Jets have a chance to be a very strong playoff team. The Niners, we'll see. They usually have a little bit of letdown because you got to the Super Bowl and lost. So let's see them. I think the Jets will be like Cincinnati in the fact they got Rodgers. They're all pumped up. We'll see how that plays out. So that's it. So I only got 11 picks and one lock, or two locks going. Free pick, I'll give you Cincinnati. Laying the 8, so cut them down to 2, get them in before they go to 9, and you got to lay 3. I mean, it's a perfect A team versus Z team here. You get the best team in the league against the worst team. They're all pumped up. They got Chase. They got Burrow back. They're going to kill him. All right. What else? So, Pat, I'll get to you in a minute. Russia buying 7 times more in tons and gold. Well, they have about 25,000 tons, so this will be interesting. Well, they know the summit, right? They're running the summit. TK, ever been online with high school? Well, okay. Let's look at college. Now, college we don't have till tomorrow. We got SMU 11.5, 55.5 to BYU. Hard to say. BYU put up a lot of points against Division II, and SMU, struggled a little with Navy, and then blew out. What was it? Houston Christian High School last week. So I can see them playing better week 2. This will be an interesting game. BYU got a new quarterback. SMU's got Stone. He's really good. And I think BYU's got a new coach. SMU's got that Lastly, who's a good offensive coach. We will see. Should be a good game. This is again tomorrow, the 6th. And we got Northwestern 2.5, 37 to Dookie. Line keeps jumping around. 2.5 to 3. And 37. I mean, it's hard. This will be a good test. Northwestern beat Miami of Ohio 13-6. Are they an under team? What are they? We need more time. So here we're getting the feel on these type of teams. Cincinnati 2 and 62.5 to Pittsburgh. Pitt put up 100 points last week against Kent State, which is a Z team, but is a Division I. Cincy, very explosive last week. So this is the problem. Cincy was explosive against Division II. Pitt was explosive against Kent State. Is the Z team. It was as good as the Division II. So really, what do you have there? I don't think they're both that strong offensively, but we will see. Maybe they are, but this should be a good game. Kansas State 947.5 to Tulane. Very good team, Tulane. Very good team, Kansas State. Interesting. Arkansas, Oak State 7.5, 62.5. To Arkansas, they both good running teams. Oak State, Allie Gordon, good running back. This will be an interesting game, I think. We got Texas 7 and 42.5 to Michigan. This was 45 down to 42.5. I think both teams have very good defenses. Texas has yours. Michigan doesn't have a good quarterback. Orgy is just going to run, so they'll just take him out. I think this will be a very good game. I think I don't buy the line. I think Michigan should be favored in it. Georgia Tech 361 to Syracuse. Syracuse put up a ton of points last week. Georgia Tech already beat Florida State, so they can score. Bowling Green against Penn State. Penn State 35 and 48.5. Bowling Green, I don't know. They played well against the high school team. Penn State killed West Virginia. They got the Kansas offensive coordinator. We should see more points from Penn State. Rutgers 23-39 to Akron. Akron, we saw against Ohio State. Gary Danielson was all excited. They got a first down. Not sure what he's doing. What a terrible Homer announcer he is. He loves Alabama. Oh, Alabama can do no wrong. Where am I at? Rutgers, Akron. So I don't know what Akron's got. Their quarterback did get hurt. Let's see if he's playing. Rutgers is they're not going to score a lot, but they got a great defense, and they're going to run it down your throat. So it's much like an Army and Navy team, only with the real good defense. It's hard with the 23 with Rutgers. How much are they going to score? But we will see. It's a low over-under 39. Memphis, 18.5, 57.5. Against Troy. Troy's really bad this year. Memphis, we'll see. Should usually a powerful offense. Florida Atlantic, 3.5, 42.5 to my Army team. Florida Atlantic struggled with Michigan State. Army killed some Division II teams. So this will be a good learning tool. Georgia, 53.5 over Tennessee Tech. I love it. Auburn, 13.5, 53 to Cal. Cal has struggled with UC Davis. Auburn killed a high school team. Again, we have no idea. Louisville, 28.5. Jacksonville State, 56.5. Louisville looks sharp again this year. Jacksonville State, they against Coastal Carolina. We'll see what happens. Washington, 24.5, 47.5 to Eastern Michigan, which beat a weak team. Washington, I don't know. They played a high school team. Notre Dame, 28. Northern Illinois, 44.5. There you go. There's your play. Northern Illinois plus 34 is the Teaserking's play. That's your free pick in college. I know I could do others. I have, I think, about 8 plays and a lock in college. They got a pro lock and a college lock. And this ain't it. But this will be very intriguing. I can see Northern Illinois putting up 20 here. And with 34, I got 54. So I think my odds are pretty good here. Iowa, 35.5 to Iowa State. It's always a good, close ball game. Iowa's all excited. They scored last week. Iowa State played a low-scoring game. Always great coaching in this game and great defense in this game. Kentucky, 9, 42.5. To South Carolina. South Carolina barely beat Old Dominion 23-19. Kentucky beat a high school team. New quarterback at Kentucky. This is learning right now. The Navy, 13-43 to Temple. Temple's terrible. Go Navy, beat Army. I think Navy handles them here. My Utah team, 14.5, 55.5. I'm trying to really analyze this game. I know what I got with Utah. I got Cam Rising. Some asshole on the radio said he doesn't like Cam Rising because he's 38 years old. Well, he was what, 24, 25, his seventh year. Had a bad knee injury. Didn't talk about that. They didn't say the 5 touchdowns were in the first half. He's a great quarterback. What does age have to do with it? You got, Aaron Rodgers is 40. Tom Brady retired at 45. What the fuck are you talking about? So I really don't like this guy. It's Utah's going to win. The question is, I'm not sure what kind of game we're going to play. Is Baylor going to score, a decent amount? If they are, we'll go over. If they're not, because of Utah's defense, Utah will win by 20. And I don't know. I know Utah's got a great defense. I don't know what Baylor is. They played a Division II team. Easy win. So it's really hard to, they got a bunch of yards. They got a bunch of points against who. So we'll learn more. I mean, we know Utah's an A team. We just got to learn the Baylors and the Texas Techs and all these teams. Maryland, 9.5, 44 against Michigan State. Michigan State struggled on offense. Childs looked terrible. The Oregon State coach and culture and defense. It's going to take Michigan State a few games to get up to the Oregon State standards. Maryland, I don't know. They're usually a good offensive team and a weak defensive team. So not sure what to do there. Toledo, 17.5, 51. Wow, this was 20. UMass sucks. Toledo, I don't know. They got a new quarterback. Their quarterback went to Baylor. So we will see. Good coaching at Toledo. North Carolina, 22.5, 48 to Charlotte. Charlotte's terrible, but North Carolina looked like crap against Minnesota last week. Their quarterback got hurt. Is he playing? We'll see. Hey, Todd. Iowa and the under. Well, I don't know if I'd do both. What's with all the questions to the students, Greg and John? They need to study. They don't. You stop interrupting them, please. Iowa and the under. I don't know about that. Iowa State's pretty good, and they got a good quarterback. Don't underestimate Iowa State's all I can say there. It's usually a close game. Let's put it that way. Texas State won 62.5 to UTSA. UTSA looked like shit against Tennessee State. Texas Tech has a good quarterback. Should have a better offense. Again, this will be a real test, and we'll see UTSA if they lose this game. Texas State's okay, but they're not. North Texas is the explosive one. And again, it's hard for me to go overs and unders yet because I really don't. That's what I keep studying, and I can't. Scoring 60 points against a high school team doesn't really help me that you're an over team against high school teams, but we're not playing high school every week. Ole Miss, 43. You got to be kidding me. 43 and 62.5 to Middle Tennessee. Is Middle Tennessee this bad? Okay, Ole Miss put up 77 against fucking nobody. Brother Rice High School. Give me a break. They are not this strong. 43. I don't understand the line going up. I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole. VTech 20.5, 52 to Marshall. We'll see how good Marshall is. VTech, decent quarterback. They just got handed Vandy with Pavia is very good. That's why the quarterback matters. Pavia goes to Vanderbilt. All of a sudden, they're a good team. All of a sudden, New Mexico State sucks, and they go beat Virginia Tech, who's a decent team. So we'll see how good Marshall is. East Care 154 to Old Dominion. Not really sure I'm understanding this line. I would think Old D would be favored. It was East Care. East Care is not a good team. 54. Old D played South Carolina 23-19. So probably a pretty good defense. East Car, they're terrible this year. They're a Z team. South Alabama, 2.5, 56. So let's talk about South Alabama. They got Major Applewhite as their coach, as we know, is a strong quarterback. He was at Texas, and he's a good offensive mind. So look for South Alabama to be a high-scoring team like they played last week. Last week's game was 52 to 38 against North Texas, but North Texas beat them. So depending on how good Ohio is not a very explosive team. So I can see why South Alabama they're going to score, but they don't have a defense. So they're probably an over team, and Ohio is probably an under team. So these get really, you usually want to take the under team here, but I'm not touching Ohio here. Central 651.5 against Florida International, Central Michigan. Central put up a lot of points on Division II, passed it well. Florida International is terrible. Central should get the win, but it's in Florida, and they're not that good on the road. What do we got here? Greg and John, what are you writing a book? Why do you ask Todd if he bets NFL? Why are you asking me if I bet? I think tonight we don't care about your opinion, Greg and John. Sorry. You want to go teach a class, go teach a class. In my class, we only want one opinion. That's mine. So not really caring about your opinion. That's like when these idiots call up on the radio and, it's Fred from, Detroit. I don't want to hear Fred's opinion on anything, on any sport. I don't give a fuck. Who the hell is Fred and why should I listen to him? So you're a student, Greg and John, just take notes and listen. Maybe you'll learn something. UCF 21.5, 55.5. This has fallen from 58. UCF very explosive. Sam Houston scored a lot last week too. This will be interesting. They got Bobby's quarterback, KJ Jefferson from Arkansas. They're basically a very strong running team. Again, this is Hugh Freeze, the coach who likes to run it up. Sam Houston, we don't know. We have no idea. We think they're a little bit stronger based on last week's, but we don't know. The Air Force, 544.5. 44.5 against San Jose State. San Jose State has the Navy coach. So I would think they'd be pretty decent. They scored a lot against high school last week. Air Force wasn't that productive last week. New quarterback. They usually have a great defense and a nice running attack. So let's see what happens. This game, I don't know because San Jose State's got a very good coach. Could be a good one. Wake 1.5, 55.5. To Virginia. Virginia, we'll have to see how good these teams are. Really unknown at this point. UAB 13, 54.5 to Lou Monroe. UAB's put up a lot of yards and points last week. Lou Monroe sucks. I mean, they're normally a Z team. I expect that this year. So UAB might get a win here. Arkansas State, 7.5, 65.5 to Tulsa. Tulsa beat Delaware State by 20 points. Who knows? Arkansas State, again, they played a high school team. So you don't really know yet. Georgia Southern Nevada. Nevada is a 1-point favorite. That changed. They were a 1-point dog. And the 57.5 went to 59. A lot of overbetting on this game. I'm not quite sure why. Georgia Southern, pretty strong offensive team. We're not sure. Nevada played SMU 29-24. Do they have a good defense? We'll find out tonight. Georgia Southern lost to Boise 56-45. So that tells me Georgia Southern's an over team. Nevada, we don't know. Again, they played SMU 29-24. I'm not just saying they can't. So I don't know. Nevada is not a strong offensive team to drive this over to 59. So we'll see. But it looks like Georgia Southern's got a weak defense. Or Boise just ran it down their throats. The guy did run for 300 yards. Tennessee State against Lou Lafayette. Lou Lafayette, 15, 47.5. Tennessee, weak offense, decent defense. Lou Lafayette, usually a very good offense. We will see. Good game here. It's probably the second, third best game of the day. We got Kansas, 5.5, 57.5 to Illinois. Kansas, very good team, very well coached. I don't like their quarterback, Daniels, but I do like their running back. I do like the backup quarterback. Daniels is just, I don't know, he's injury prone. Illinois, we have to see. Altmaier threw 4 touchdowns last week, but against nobody. This will be a very interesting game. I think it'll be a tight one. I mean, I want to take Kansas here, but I'm like, maybe not. Maybe it's an over. Maybe not. I don't know what Illinois is yet. I mean, this would be a much easier bet in week 4. But I think Kansas is going to be a good team this year. And here we go. Alabama, 31-64 to South Florida. South Florida is a very explosive running team. Alabama, very explosive. You shut out Western Kentucky. Is South Florida going to score? And therein lies the tale. Because if they don't, the over-under is 64 and going to be a really hard one to get to for Alabama. If South Florida can move the ball, this is an easy over. We know Alabama's going to score. But we don't know what the hell South Florida is going to do. We don't know Alabama's defense yet. We know they shut out Western Kentucky, who's a very explosive team. So kind of looking at it, I would say, well, Alabama, 42, South Florida, 10, 20. You're laying a bunch of points, 31, so it's not like an 18. We can just jump on Alabama. So do we think South Florida will get 20 points? If we do, then it's an easy over. But against Alabama, it's very hard to score, even now with the new coach. Missouri, 34.5, 51.5 to Buffalo. Missouri, very explosive. Brady Cook, outstanding quarterback. Good team, good defense. Buffalo, not a weak MAC. They're an average MAC team. They're not a Z team. I think that 34.5 is a little high. 51 probably is more doable. But we'll see what Buffalo has. Again, we don't know. And it's very hard to – can Buffalo get 17 points? Then we can go over. And we can't bet Missouri laying 28, if they score 17. So I think Missouri definitely wins. Just we'll have to see how good Buffalo is. Ohio fucking State, 37.5, 54 to Western. Western lost to Wisconsin 28-14. Is Western that good? I don't know. Wisconsin's always a little bit. Tyler Van Dyke didn't do anything, didn't have any touchdowns last week. Ohio State, we know they're going to score early and often, but you're laying 38. They did score 14 Western on Wisconsin, and we know has a good defense. That might take us to the over in this game because, Ohio State, they'll be 30s or 40s easily, and it's up to Western. Do they get their 14? Then we get an over. If they don't, we're probably going to be really close to getting it over. We'll need that pick six by the defensive lineman. Tennessee is up. Wow. Tennessee was 7.5, now up to 10. Big move. 60.5. Now the line, the over didn't move, but the line did. Interesting. Tennessee, we know, is very explosive, running and passing, and not a lot of defense. NC State's very explosive this year, and they usually have a very good defense. I don't like Tennessee on the road like I like Tennessee at home, so I'm not sure. Nebraska, 756.5 to Colorado. This is a revenge game. Colorado beat them last year. Nebraska has got a quarterback from Georgia. Raiola's kid. Looked fairly sharp last week, beating – who the hell Nebraska beat last week? UTEP, 40-7. This is going to be a hard game for Prime Jr. He's going to play a good defense, and we know how he plays against good defenses like Oregon and Utah and US and UCLA. I would think they're going to sack him 10 times in the game, Nebraska. This will be a hard game for Colorado to win, I think. We'll have to see how good Nebraska is. I think they're going to have a good defense, but are they an under team, or is this Raiola a really good quarterback, or is he just going there because his dad went there? I mean, this is what we got to find out. But I don't think Colorado is going to do much here. Oklahoma, 28-49.5 to Houston. Oklahoma, I don't know. The quarterback's not a big passer. He's new. Houston sucked last week. We love Willie Fritz as the coach, but is he going to walk into – there's not a lot of players. Donovan Smith is like Uglia Buglia. How many more games is Uglia Buglia going to see at Florida State? I guarantee you, this guy doesn't like to lose. He's lost 2 because of Uglia Buglia. Georgia Tech, I understand. Boston College, I really don't. So Houston comes in, really didn't do anything against Vegas, who's a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a good Mountain West team, but they're not Oklahoma. We will see here. We'll see if Houston can bounce. Clemson, 17-53 to App State. I think App State will give them a game. I don't think Clemson's all that good. That whopping 3 points they got on my Georgia team, I can't believe they didn't shut them out. I was a little disappointed there. Kubiak sucks. I just think the guy's play calling was made for a running quarterback. Kubiak's not. Good defense from Clemson, I think. App State plays well in these games against North Carolina and here's South Carolina. We'll see, but don't be surprised if App State plays with them. Okay. Oregon, 21-60.5 against Boise. Interesting. Boise, ran all over Georgia Southern. Oregon didn't do much last week. Look for Oregon to be able to score on Boise's defense like Georgia Southern did. Look for Boise to get some points on Oregon. You can run the ball, you can score. It's a lot easier if you're a strong running team like Boise. This could be a closer game. I don't get the money going on Oregon. Boise's pretty good quarterback. So we will see. I think this is a very good game. This will turn out to be. Texas Tech, Washington State. Washington State 2-66. Both teams explosive. Texas Tech won like a 59-58 game last week. Washington State put up a 70 against a high school team. So what you would think would be a lot of points, we'll see. You just get into playing big boys, not the high school teams, and that's where it throws you off. Liberty 22.5, 54 to New Mexico State. Liberty's a very good team. New Mexico State's falling apart without Pavia. I think they won 10 games last year, so we will have to keep an eye on them. Liberty is a very good team, and I got them as written as a very good team this year. So 22, it's a matter of the win, but by how many? Oregon State, San Diego State. Oregon State 6, San Diego 54. San Diego State has gone to a more open offense. Look for them to score a lot more than they've been doing. And Oregon State, we don't know. The coach is gone. The new coach, we'll see. So Arizona's coach went to Washington. So we'll see how good this is. San Diego State could easily pull the upset here, I think. Arizona State, 5.5, 58.5. To Old Mississippi State. Arizona State had a good game last week against nobody. Mississippi State had a good game against nobody. Both teams look to be over, but I made that mistake last year when I thought they were over, bet it over, and I got lucky and got an overtime to win. So I don't know. We got to keep an eye on that. USC, Utah State. USC 28.5, 63. I don't know. I don't know who Utah State is. They should be scoring points. We got to see what USC's defense looks like after last year. I mean, it sucked last year. USC, I don't know. I mean, he's going to go back to passing the ball, especially against Utah State. I think he showed something against LSU. At the end of the day, Leopards don't change their spots. Neither will Lincoln Riley. He'll keep firing the ball 80 times a game. I think he's made a mistake with Miller Moss instead of the kid from Vegas, who's much better. But we'll see. So I don't know what to do with that game. It seems like it'd be an over, but we really got to get a better description on their defense. So I got 8 or 9 plays. I gave you Northern Illinois as the free play. I have 2 locks going in college ball. So that is football week 1 and 2. Again, if you want pick for tonight and tomorrow and the whole weekend, www.teaserking.com. You get all my picks, or if you want, take a class, and we can talk about it after this one. Because nobody's signed up for the class, so I can't just teach it. I do have a class Monday night that we'll do every Monday at 9:00 and on Zoom. You're welcome for that. Just pay the 25 and I'll send you the link to your email. The gentleman's nice enough. He said, yeah, if you want to have more people, he doesn't care as long as he learns. So we will see. Anyway, so Greg and John's got to stop vampiring us, please. You're getting offline here. We don't need to ask everybody how they're doing and if they bet. Okay. So with that said, that'll end this, and then I'm going to do some econ. I know Pat and Luke and everything. We haven't done econ in a couple of days. So that's football. Should be a good game tonight. Then we got the stupid game from Brazil. What is that? And then the regular season Sunday, we got college Friday night, Saturday night. Should be good. So your free pick in the pros is Cincinnati. The free pick in college is Northern Illinois in 34. Again, I got I got a lock in pros and a lock in college. That's 4 teams. So, like, if you want to, you get the locks. You can play a 4-team teaser. You got 4 locks. Just play them. Very easy. No, Northern Illinois is not a lock. So you're going to have 5 teams in the teaser. So that's about it. All right. Well, have a good night. Let me go do some economics. It's already 6 o'clock. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a nice night. www.teaserking.com. If you want the picks, you got to either buy the picks or get the class where I will go through all the games like I did, only I'll just go through the picks and explain them and tell you who I'm taking. And I'll give you, this is my lock. Here it is. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Have a good night, everybody. www.teaserking.com. I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk about the Kansas City game and get ready, review the lines for Sunday. All right. Take care, everybody.